So today we are going to see the qualities of the stream enterer. So we bought some books to see if we can find some of them in the book. Really, we want to refer to the Buddha's teaching himself. So now, stream enterer, Sotapanna. How many of you who want to enter this, gain this attainment? Please raise your hand. That's why I see many of you today. That's why today I see many of you. Yes. This is very good that many of you want to attain stream entry. In this in this life or next life? What do you think? This lifetime, There is a common belief that going around, mostly in Sri Lanka, that they want to attain enlightenment when the next Buddha comes, Metteyya Buddha or Maitri Buddha, when he comes, that's when they're going to work on their enlightenment. But here's the question, what's wrong with the current Buddha? Why they talk about the future Buddha? I think this is a very common human habit. We don't value so much what's in the present moment. We're always looking for what's coming in the future. And the future maybe is better than what's going on in the present moment. We downplay the present moment, and we try to really expect so much about the future that is going to be better than the present moment. I think this is a common problem. So now we have to go systematically, though I'm going to talk about the qualities of the stream enterer. We will have to understand what is a stream enterer. Most people talk about stream winner. I don't like the word winner, as opposed to losers. Does it mean that we are losing? So there's a common translation which is called stream winner that I don't like it because it doesn't really show the word Pali, which is Sotapanna. So these words are divided into two. I'm going to write them for you. Sota. All words to understand is this sota. Because sota has three meanings. Three meaning. One is a physical ear. Your ears are called sota, physical ear. This one is called sota. Then the first meaning is sota. The second is actually, this is physical ear. Another one is more metaphorically. It's a metaphor for stream. Stream, right? So why is it metaphorically called stream? Because the stream, it flows towards one direction, and then when you attain this attainment, actually you are following which direction? Towards what? Towards Nibbana. The stream can be flowing towards the ocean, but actually it's flowing from, it's going to Nibbana. From samsara to Nibbana. Nibbana. From samsara. Samsara is going to Nibbana. Once you enter it, now you start flowing. So it's a question of time that you are going to arrive at Nibbana. So it will not follow this way to bananas. I told you. Okay? So always it's going to go in this direction, and you attain final liberation in the question of time. Number 3 is actually the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path. You have to capture these three meanings for this word. If you don't, then you are going to be confused when it comes to what is it required to attain it. Yesterday we talked about 7.5. Do we require 7.5 fold path? Others, they say they're going to be 7, like this. Otherwise, you're not going to understand. So the most important word to understand is here. All right? Its philosophical meaning. Metaphorical also we understand. And apana simply entered. So now, it's very, very important to know that you have to practice Buddha's teaching in the Noble Eightfold Path to have this attainment. But what are the qualities of such a person? We are going to go through one by one. Very important. We are going to refer so much on the discourses. We refer so much on discourses. We start with Ratana Sutta. Ratana Sutta. Ratana Sutta is a very important discourse, I think, in Buddhism, because it's a sutta of protection. We chant it for protecting purposes. And when people ask you to go to chant, that's what we chant. But it's really interesting that part of it is talking about stream intra. It talks about Chatupame vichapamuto chachabita ababokatum. Idam pisangera tanapanita etena sachena swatihoto. It starts with Sahava Sada Sampadaya Taya Sudama Jahitaba Wante Sakaya Diti Wichikichikancha Sidabatava Piada Tikinchi Chatupa Maevi Chapamuto Chachabitanani Ababokatmo. So we chant the whole sutta, but I'm just chanting only that gata. The translation is like this. The translation is with the attainment of the first path. The three states, namely self-delusion, say here self-illusion, but as a self-identity view, right? That's the first fetter. Then doubt. I think this book, I don't know translated. It should be skeptical doubt. Oh, oops, my teacher. It's my teacher. Somebody went wrong, not my teacher. So the doubt as a hindrance is called doubt, which is uncertainty. But as a samyojana, as a fetter, is actually called skeptical doubt. I'm so surprised that the word skeptical is missing in here in English. And my teacher is called Sadhu Siddhananda, was a wonderful scholar. I don't know how they missed it, but I cannot say he did it. But anyway, let's go. Yes, the printer did it, not him. Okay, then belief in wrong habits and practices. It should be rites. Actually, the word habit is not good also here. It should be rites and rituals. Yeah, so again, this a printer maybe. So as a way of purification, abandoning him. So what's the first quality? Is that they abandon the three fetters, the first three fetters. That's one future characteristics of a stream enterer. Also, he abandoned some other defilements, all right? This is very, very important in terms of the characteristics of a stream enterer. He is totally free from rebirth in the four woeful states and is incapable of committing 6 major wrongdoings. This is also a characteristics. Now, some of the people, raise your hand. If do you know what are called samyojanas, which is called fetters, samyojana? You know it? Do you know fetters? Raise your hand if you don't know fetters. Oh, then I have to go again to the board because it's very, very important to know the fetters. Fetters is what ties us to the round of birth and death. First, we need to distinguish them from Okay, fetters. Fetters, the English word is called fetters. The Pali word is called samyojana. All right? Fetters it has to be distinguished from five hindrances. Right? This is what we call five hindrances. Five hindrances. Five hindrances. All right? Right? So five hindrances, there is sense desires, then there's ill will, then there's sloth and torpor, then there's restlessness and worry, and then doubt. All right? This is called doubt, but when it comes here, they're going to acquire different names. So let's think that this is a tree. This is a tree. Forgive my art. All right? So this is a tree. Okay? Thank you very much. All right, this is a tree. All right. So, okay, let's make a tree. This is a tree with the leaves like this. Okay? So now, a tree will have, this is earth. What does a tree has? Roots. Do you see them? When? Unless it's mangrove tree. Mangrove tree, actually the roots are here, but under the ground you can't see the fetters, all right? The roots. So now what do you see on a tree? You see what? Branches. So hindrances, the five hindrances, is actually what we see in our life. We see sensual desires. We see ill will. We see restlessness. We see sloth and torpor. We see doubt. So now, let's start with doubt. Doubt, we see it as uncertainty. You know, you drive, whether you take exit number 1 or 2, you don't know. When you reach here, exit number 1, you get here, and then you don't know whether to go here or here, right? So you start wavering. Should I go here? Should I go here? Should I observe the breath here? Should I observe the breath here? Should I observe the breath here? Other people observe the breath in the foot. Good luck if you feel that you're going to observe your breath in your foot. People are very funny, actually. They get a lot of doubt, about this kind of their practice. But when it comes to samyojana, this is called nivarana. This is pancha nivarana. This is called samyojana. So it's called no doubt. That's why I was wondering in that book. It's called skeptical doubt. Skeptical doubt. Skeptical doubt. Skeptical doubt. These are skeptics. Skeptics are very funny. They ask you a question and you start explaining them. Before you finish, they start asking another question. Let's say, what Buddhists you believe in? We believe in the noble truths, the Four Noble Truths, suffering, cause of suffering. Then before you finish, they ask you a question again. And then whatever you see, you say it falls on the deaf ears. And then when they ask, they're not asking for the sake of knowing. They're just doubting everything. They're skeptical of everything. This becomes a problem. Of course, also this doubt becomes a problem. You don't practice because you don't believe in anything, and then you don't believe in anything, then you don't practice. So you keep on going in circles, right? So it kind of keep on looping in. You don't believe in anything because you don't practice. You don't practice because you don't believe in anything. So you keep on going in circles. So, but here, skeptical doubt, we have the contemporaries of the Buddha. Actually, they were skeptics. These skeptics, what they do, they don't believe in love karma. They don't believe in karma. They don't believe in energy. I mean, what you call efforts. They don't believe in everything. Actually, the Buddha taught, they don't believe in it. They have wrong views. They say that, okay, even if you have to kill somebody and slice them in 2 pieces, the soul will go out and then find another body. So in other words, the soul keep on migrating. So many things. You can read it in the Brahmanjara Sutta. These contemporaries of the Buddha, 6 of them. So now we have the first one of the fetters is called Sakaya Ditti. All right? Let's use English. Self-identity view. Self-identity view. Self-identity. Identity view. View. Sakaya Ditti. So this is the first one, and this is a very big fetter. Very, very big. you practice very well meditation, and then you actually go from what you call mundane to super mundane, which, of course, you have to take the object of meditation, then you have to overcome the hindrances, then you have to overcome, you have to take Nibbana as the unconditioned. So then you enter into this. This is what we call path. As soon as you hit one, there are 3 of them, all right? Once you just knock off the first one, that's what we say path. The Pali word is called magga. Magga. And then the fruit is called pala. The fruit. All right? So these are very important things to understand, because most people don't know what it really involves to attain this stream entry. Then there is what we call attachment, rites, and rituals. Attachment. I think this is the second one or the third, I don't know, but let's say attachment. I think this is skeptical doubt, skeptical doubt. And then once you actually get into what we call attachment in rites and rituals. Okay, I've told you what skeptics are. And then rites and rituals is doing anything which is outside the Noble Eightfold Path. If you do anything that is outside the Noble Eightfold Path, thinking that it's going to lead to purification of mind and also you attain liberation, if that's what you think, then you are here. Right? Like in India, they used to behave like cows. They walk like cows, like dogs. And then they thought that they're going to attain go to the Brahma and attain moksha and all this kind of thing. The Buddha actually made fun of those people like this. He said, if that's what you practice in their life, that's what you're going to become. And then this guy was so unhappy about Buddha's answer. Because Buddha said, well, you ask. Actually, Buddha kept on keeping quiet, silent and all that. Until the third time, I said, okay, now let me answer you. You become what you've been practicing. If you're not going to get liberated, of course, when you were born in the next life. Also, you're going to behave like a dog, because that's what you've been practicing. So if in your life you've been practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, that means when you attain these things, that's what also you're going to practice like this. Now, practices like immersing yourself in water, which is very common even up to today in India, Buddha also made fun of this. What he did, he said that if using water to purify yourself is the way to go to heaven, all the fish and the frogs will go there faster than you, because that's why they live there all their time, their life. So since they live already in water, that means they will be already in heaven if that was the case. But they're still right there. So the Buddha didn't recommend practices like immersing oneself in water as a way to lead to liberation. But we put water on the altar there is as a symbol of actually quenching thirst. Water is a symbol of life, we know in general, but in Buddhism, we symbolize it as a symbol of quenching thirst. Which thirst? Tanha. Another translation for the word tanha is thirst. So we put water there to symbolize that we want to quench our thirst, our craving, right? But we don't think that it's going to purify us from our defilements. This is very important. There's a difference. So now once you break these two, once you break all this completely, I told you before it was one, you attain the path, magga, in Pali, all right? Once you actually break all the three, you get into what you call pala, the fruit, right? So this is a very important distinction that you don't want to miss, because it will come again and again. Even in our chanting, they say there's 8 noble ones. That means 4, because there are 4 stages of enlightenment, and then times 2, 1 and 2, then you have 8 noble ones. This is very important because each stage has 2 Magga, and Pala. But for the sake of today, we are going to talk about only stream entry. We're not going to talk about the rest. Okay. Now, they say according to this course, for reference, is called Ratana Sutta. Ratana Sutta. Ratana Sutta. Ratana Sutta. Sutta. So now, it talks about he's totally free from 4 woeful states. You know those woeful states? Hell, animal realm, ghost realm. Okay, he's incapable of committing 6. One characteristics of a stream entry. Oh, by the way, all these things like skeptical doubt, then all this is self-identity view. Self-identity view. It's not mentioned here in hindrances, but it could come under doubt also. Doubt, have I been, and all these things. And then there's also what we call attachment, rites, and rituals. So you can list all the 10 samyojanas attachment to rites and rituals. You can list them all down because you can't see them. They're on a latent level. Latent level. They're sitting there, sleeping. But what you see in our daily life is the branches and the leaves. They work out in our life. So this is finished to distinguish between hindrances. These are hindrances. These are So we are going to find the characteristics. One is already this one. What they do? They remove the 3 fetters. The second one is they are incapable, cannot go into the 4 woeful states. They say that they are totally free. They are totally free from rebirth in 4 woeful states. I think this is a pretty much good future because that means you will never be reborn as an animal. In fact, that's why most people target this entry, because actually to be reborn as an animal, to come back to a human being, the Buddha talks about a blind turtle swimming for 100 years. And then which is blind, and then there's a ring, and it's just floating on an ocean. I mean, we're talking about an ocean. It's not a swimming pool. And this is swimming for 100 years. The chances of putting the head in the ring are pretty much... that's easier than actually gain a human rebirth. So actually we should actually gain this attainment. The third one, the third future, is that is incapable of committing of committing the 6 grave offenses. What are those? Hey, we are together. Please mention, please. 1, what's the first one? Patricide. Raise your hand. We are together. Please don't sleep. Other people. Killing what? Killing an arahant. Arahant is the 4th level of enlightenment. Then the 4th level of enlightenment is arahant. You know arahant? Yes, that's the final level of enlightenment. What about the 4th one? Killing or injuring? You cannot kill the Buddha. just in case you didn't know that. Injuring the Buddha. Buddha was injured, the Buddha. But you have to go through difficulties even to injure him. And then the fifth one, Sikhism. You divide in the Sangha. You divide the Sangha, six. Yeah, six, like this. This is an H. What's the sixth one? Huh? Yes, yeah. Six, pernicious, wrong views. Michaditi. Wrong views, such as, okay, there's no karma. Everything is due to karma. This kind of things that are going to bring us into trouble. This kind of views they bring into what? Trouble. Pernicious view. Pernicious. I think that's the spelling. Okay? Now, what is the number 4 quality of the Buddha? Of this attainment? Pernicious is I think the spelling pernicious. Is it a E or what? I'll check. It's yeah, it's I. It's I. This is correct. Is correct. O-U-S. O-U. Yeah, pernicious views. Okay. Now another attainment, another quality, we finish this one. I think what I want to draw your attention is the commentary Sanyutta Nikaya talks about what self-identity. I think this is pretty much for. This is practicing anything outside these rituals. Okay, let me go a little bit to this before we keep on listing like this, So, what are the rites and rituals? Maybe Buddhism also we have rites and rituals. Maybe you go there and you put flowers, you bow down to the Buddha, you have water you put there, you have incense you put there. Is it not that a ritual? You answer. I'm a person whereby I don't teach people and then they're falling asleep, checking me on Google and find answers. It's very interactive. My approach is very interactive. We interact with each other. I learn from you, you learn from me. Yes. You teach me Singlish. Yeah. So this is why I want interaction, because Sister Amy bought me a whole book. I should be a good student, By now, I should be a very good student. She said that my laws are not smooth yet, but I'm working on them. So, yeah, what do you think about this? We have rituals. Are they part of this or not? Tell me yes or no. We bow down to the Buddha. Some person I was teaching in Pennsylvania, there's a Sri Lankan person who started the monastery. He's a lay person. He invited me to teach in Pennsylvania, USA. I started explaining everything there. He didn't know, he had no clue. He said that everything he put in a temple, he watched grandmother and grandpa doing it in Sri Lanka. So he admitted that he didn't have any clue what's on altar there. So now here's the big question. Is that ritual, rites and rituals that are going to put into problem? And these fetters, they actually ties us to samsara. Even if we were to actually demonstrate this, it's like ropes. You know rope, it ties you on a tree. A rope that ties you on a tree. This is the tree of samsara. This comes from sarati, the Pali word sarati, or charity. Sarati means wandering, and sam is an intensification. You can imagine this intensification and sarati, this is a verb. Really wandering aimlessly here and there and there. So now you look at if there's a rope that has 10 strands, all right? Forgive my, and you are here, gender is not intended, okay? So we have this rope. So there are 10 of them, 10 strands, 10 of them. So imagine just breaking one only, and you break one. Another time you break this one. Another one you break this one, you have 7 to go. That's a big relief. The Buddha even said that such a person who does that, he said that he's better than any ruler of all the entire world. But more so, what I like about this, break the fetters, I say please even defilement in general. We say defilement also. All right? What I like about this, he compared to, he asked the monk, what do you think, monks? He got dust, he did like this, and he got the dust, put on this finger, small finger. And then he said, what do you think, monks? Is the dust on this finger or the dust in the world? Oh, venerable. Of course, the dust in the world is more compared to the dust on the finger. The Buddha said, so is a person who has attained stream enterer. He has this much left. This much left dust compared to the dust around the world. So this is really should be our minimum goal as a Buddhist. Minimum. But I told you last time it's not the highest. We should aim higher, you know. This should be our minimum because compared to the amount of work we have done to do this, but we need to know the work clearly. Really, this look like a ritual to people, but what makes a difference, whether you understand that it's connected to the Noble Eightfold Path or not. If you just do them as a sake of rituals, and then because your grandmother was doing the same thing, then they are not going to serve you. But for me, if I'm to bring flowers, and I know they symbolize impermanence, and I put them to the Buddha there, as a reminder for me when I'm meditating, when anger arises in my mind state, I remember the flowers. Oh, the flowers also, they're withering. Also this mind state, anger is going to wither. Then it's what I'm doing, I'm connecting the Noble Eightfold Path with what I'm doing there. Are we together on this? Let's talk about the incense. So if I'm to write incense, and I put that there on the Buddha, not because my grandmother was doing it, but I know incense represents what you call ethical virtues. And then when I light them, reminds me of the saint, the fragrance of this saint that goes unhindered to somebody who is virtuous. Then it reminds me to keep the 5 precepts and maintain good ethical conduct. Then by the time I put there my sticks there, then it's, I put the incense there. Then I'm practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. What about candles, lighting candles? Do you think that we don't have enough electricity here? Do you want more candles to see each other here? Or do we want to actually decorate the altar? A candle, we light it because it symbolizes wisdom. We want to dispel darkness. Do you see how each ritual is merged with the Noble Eightfold Path? So that it's directly or indirectly connected. Otherwise, if you are doing it and ask you, why are you doing it? Oh, I saw Bhante doing it. Why are you doing it? Oh, my grandmother used to do it. Then you are in trouble there. You are going to be tied on this samsara. Of course, I'm explaining this, but it has to be broken. But let's go a little bit on self-identity view. Actually, this is very, very important. What is self-identity view? Please, raise your hand. Self-identity view. Who knows about it?
Is it a notion about I, myself?
To some extent, but I need a little bit of explanation. What's I, me, myself? What is it? 5 aggregates. We identify the 5. This, if we have to know this, we have to deposit it against 5 aggregates. What are the 5 aggregates of clinging? Form, aggregates of clinging, of clinging. Okay, there's a form, feelings, feelings, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. If we take this to have a self, all this to have a self, that there's a self in these 5 aggregates, and then we have this self-identity view. The word is there here, self. You're identifying these 5 aggregates with the self. Okay? All right? So this is called Sankara. Sankara. And I know these things, Sanya, you know all these things. So now if you're going to identify this with the self, that they have a self, then you have actually, each of them you identify that there's a self behind it and all these things, then you have this view. Actually, we can get a little bit of help from what we call a commentary to Sanyutta Nikaya, because that's where we find it. That's why I came with that book. A commentary to Sanyutta Nikaya, it's very interesting. It's a commentary. It's not a canonical. There's a commentator about the canon. Because the discourse they are talking about identity view, but it doesn't go further. But the commentators actually talks about how we have 20 self-identity views. 20 self-identity views. How they come about? How they come about is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not the Buddha saying it, but it makes sense how people think that actually the self and the 5 aggregates is identical. Actually, somewhere the Buddha talks about it, actually. Identifying yourself with the self and the 5 aggregates, thinking is that the same. On one side, we also, this is very clear, identical. Identical. Then the second way of doing it is, these are 5 aggregates, you think that they're independent. Or else that's another view. Think that independent. Okay? In other words, similar, not identical. So this is the 5, let this be a box actually. This is a box. So this becomes the 5 aggregates, and this is a self, that actually they're independent. There's another view also whereby people think that this is the 5 aggregates, and then there's a self. It's like a jewels in a casket, right? Think that inside. There's then another view thinking that actually the self, this should be a circle to show yourself. And then there's another view to think that actually self and then the 5 aggregates are like this. Ownership. There's ownership, there's also insight. All right? There's ownership. And this is actually situated or included, situated inside. So these are 4 ways we think about this stuff. So when you multiply 4 times 5, you get what? 20. These are what the commentator talk about, 20 wrong views. It makes sense because actually when you look at the Hindu theory, self-theory, they thought like actually once you die, what's going to happen with the self? It will go out of the body. In fact, that's why how cremation started. Cremation started that once you burn the body, they will actually help the soul to release faster than being there until it decays. So they will burn it, body, to release the soul. So when you look at the evolution of soul theory in Hindu tradition, it makes sense that there are these kind of 4 ways of looking at it. This is going a little bit at that, but actually you take it this way. In a discourse, we talk about the Anattalakkhana Sutta. In fact, Anattalakkhana Sutta should help you, which means the discourse on non-self. Is the self the body, or is it, this kind of thing. Okay, anyway, this was a little bit of a side story, but we can. Okay, what's number 4? Quality is number 4. Now we are on the same page. We can sit now. Relax. We can sit and relax. Okay, what's number qualities number 4? I grouped them. What's number 4 of a stream enterer? Number 4. What are the qualities of a stream enterer number 4? Who has some idea? Very, very important qualities that we actually, we should list them like this. Because you say only capable of not breaking precept, but actually it's a group. That's why I'm grouping them like this. There are 4 qualities. 4 qualities. Qualities. I'm breaking it down for you. One is 5 precepts. 5 precepts. Another one is called unshakable doubts. Unshakable faith. Unshakable faith, and confidence in the Buddha. In the Buddha, number 1, 2, 3, in the what? In the Dhamma, and then number 4, in the Sangha. So in other words, the 5 precepts cannot break them. Cannot break. Yes. And then unshakable faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So when you break the triple gem, that's why we have number 2, number 3 Dhamma, and number 4 Sangha. Number 4 Sangha. Okay. So this is very important. So we go to number 5. You are the one who want to call it. Now you can tell you where you are now. You can go through the list and tell us where you are now. All right? Yes. I'm going to wrap this part. Is okay? Okay. Number 5. Number 5, it's really very important to those who from the discourse. I listed it here. Understanding. He understands. Understanding. Gratification. Danger, and then escape. Escape of what? The mental defilements like greed. Yeah, he knows the escape. He has not escaped fully. But actually understand how to escape from greed, hatred, and delusion. Right? Delusion. Danger. Yes, asada, adinava, nisarana. These are very important things. Do we all understand this? I think not so much. You know, if it's how many years here in the University of Singapore? 3 years or 4 years? 3 years. So most of us, we want to go to first year. Let's say degradation, or let's say of desire. Let's say sensual desires. It's a sensual desire. Sensual desires. The Buddha talks about gratification. All people understand about this gratification, because if there was no gratification, then people will not be attached to sensual desires. But because it brings some kind of short-lived happiness, that people get gratification. So people go in the first year 1 at the university, but they don't do their homework. They don't graduate. What they do, second year. Second year, we found out if there's 100 people here, then we have maybe 20, we are down to 20 people. Who can find the inherent danger in sensual desire? Huh? Inherent danger. Then what's the danger is there? Who knows the danger? Impermanent, changing all the time, changing all the time, and also, of course, is incapable of ultimate satisfactory and all this kind of thing. Then escape. How many people escape? One. These are literally arbitrary. But you get the picture. Not so many people want to escape to these kind of things, So a person who has attained stream entry really understands this very, very well and actually knows the danger and escape. Number 6. Number 6 also, this is very interesting. I listed it here for you, and this is the last one. It's about spiritual faculties. The way they graded this enlightenment, and I'm going to go there back and read it for you. They talk about the 5 spiritual faculties. The 5 spiritual faculties, spiritual faculties, spiritual faculties, faculties are still weak, still weak, still weak. I'm going to refer to the discourse. A discourse. Because if they're weaker, then they're called what you call Dhammanusari. Dhamma followers. You become a Dhamma follower if those spiritual faculties are weaker. Otherwise, you become what you call faith follower, right? Faith follower. Nusari, faith followers. I'm going to refer to the discourse to show you how they grade these levels of enlightenment according to the strength of the spiritual faculties. Okay, these are the 6 that I was able to find. Let me read to you a discourse that talks about this directly from the Buddha's teaching. Then we'll open it to question and answer session. Yes, we're going to open it to question and answer session. No, but before we do this, where can we find these people in the modern day? Have you seen them in Singapore? Eh? Have you seen them? Where do you find these people stream enterers? I told you I don't want the word stream winner, actually. Because the etymology, we have seen the etymology is about entering the stream. So the questions, where do we find these people? Help me to figure out where you can find them. Where are they? Do they write them on a Times, Singapore Times? What newspaper you have here? What? Yes. Do they hit the headline? No. Yes, someone from BF was meditating here and during the retreat, during Ajahn Brahm, and they attained this one. Why these people don't hit headlines? They should. Do you know the reason why? Eh? They don't what? Well, what if they say, okay, for instance, because there are some who say, some who say, so what can we do with this kind of people? It's unfortunate that these people don't make it to the newspapers, but the question is, are they there or not? Do you believe that those people are there or not? Yes. Where can we find them? Sentosa? Raise your hand if you have ever encountered one after knowing all these qualities. Okay, let's read. You'll give me the answer. Let us read now. Okay, regarding the 6, the faculty. Bhikkhus, this is in Sanyutta Nikaya. Sanyutta Nikaya. Bhikkhus, there are these 5 faculties. Do you know the 5 faculties? Okay, faith. Mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Okay. What are the 5? The faculty of faith, the faculty of wisdom, and so on. Okay, I've already listed them. These are the 5 faculties. One who has completed and fulfilled these 5 faculties is an arahant. So an arahant is the one who has what? fulfilled all of them. All right? If they are weaker than that, one is practicing for the realization of the fruit of arahantship. If still weaker, one is a non-returner. If still weaker, one is practicing for the realization of the fruit of non-returning. If still weaker, one is a once returner. If still weaker, one is practicing for the realization of the fruit of once returning. If still weaker, one is a stream entrer. One is a what? A stream entrer. So that's why I put that as part of the quality, so that you understand, so that you can start practicing the 5 spiritual faculties. How do you start practicing five spiritual faculties? Through mindfulness. Because the Buddha, when he came to the discourse of mindfulness, he talks about it. Let us connect this discourse with what the Buddha talks about. You say, I don't want so much Ugandan words from Uganda. I want things from the Buddha directly, no? This is what the Buddha is talking about in Satipatthana Sutta 145. 145. Buddha mentioned it in our practice of meditation. 145. Okay? This is what the Buddha mentioned, to tell you that these are the 5 spiritual faculties that you need to practice. But it doesn't make it clear here, but we understand it. So this is what the Buddha is saying. The Buddha is saying what? Okay. This one. What are the 4? Here, a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body as a body, ardent. What's ardent? Energy, effort, mindfulness. This is mindfulness. What about, it talks about full aware. What's full aware? That's sampajanya. This is wisdom. So in between, there's concentration between mindfulness and full awareness. That's concentration in between. And then when you put them together, there's a certain discourse in Sanyutta Nikaya, the precursor to practice the 4 foundation of mindfulness. What is the precursor to practice 4 foundation of mindfulness? What are the requirements before you jump into the 4 foundation of mindfulness? You must have faith. You have to purify. You must have right understanding. You must have 5. You observe 5 precepts. I mean virtue. How are you going to observe virtue without faith? This is a discourse in Sanyutta Nikaya, the Buddha talking about the prerequisites for the practice of the 4 foundation of mindfulness. But what do we see these days? I want to learn mindfulness. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. People, they don't have the requirements. The requirements are very clear that actually you require faith and confidence. You require these things. So the Buddha doesn't say, hey, this is five spiritual faculty here, but it's understood from the discourse. Okay, we continue. Let's continue with this, all right? So, yes, stream entrer. If still weaker, one is practicing for the realization of the fruit of stream entrer. So they're talking about the fruit, and also they're talking about the path, right? I told you the distinction already. It should be very clear now. So, but this is very interesting. This is where things become very juicy. But because I say that one whom these faculties, 5 spiritual faculties, are not completely, are completely and totally absent, is an outsider. Is an outsider, one who stands in the faction of worldlings. Is not a noble one, in other words. Is not a what? A noble one. Because these people are called noble one. There's a brief discourse also I want to show you so that you know. Because there are 5 faculties. What are the 5? The faculty of faith, dash, 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 the faculty of wisdom. This is the fifth one. These are the 5 faculties. One who has completed and fulfilled these 5 faculties is an arhat. If they are weaker than that, one is non-returner. If they are still weaker, one is a once returner. If still weaker, that's a stream enterer. If still weaker, a Dhamma follower. If still weaker, is a faith follower. You understand? The consolation prize? Yes, you see, you don't get nothing from this kind of thing. Still, you're at least faith follower. If you're not faith follower, at least you're a Dhamma follower. And if you're not a Dhamma follower, then you're still enterer. How nice. There is something that I found out, very interesting. I found out today for the first time, actually. It's amazing when you read discourses, you always find something. I found out something that if you are still weaker, if you are still weaker than faith follower, what you think, according? I wish I can get it here. For me, it was amazing because I was born as a Catholic, and for me, it was something that I found for the first time. I said, whoa, where was it lying? You know? And I've read this thing before, but very quickly maybe. But I hope I can find out, but I will tell you what it is. According to the discourse, it said that if your 5 spiritual faculties are still weaker, who can guess? Who can guess as I'm looking for the discourse? Because this is very juicy. Let me tell you. You guess. Keep on guessing. For me, I'll tell you. No, if you are not faithful, then what? I'm going to tell you something that I wish I find it. When what? You are what? You are what? You are nothing? Oh, tomorrow I will show it to you, I think, because it's so interesting. I'm going to tell you, but for me it's such interesting that it's written here. For me it was like eye-opener. Okay, if you are not a faith follower because your spiritual faculties are still weak, what is it? What is it? It said you love. Actually, you just love the Buddha, and then you go to heaven. Actually, so now I connected it with other religious leaders who they are not about practicing, but it's about having faith in the teacher. So, in other words, you have faith in a teacher, and you go to heaven. That's your consolation prize. No, now for the first time to find out where I was born as a Roman Catholic, all what they tell us is to love Jesus so that we can go to heaven. For the first time, I found it here. If you are weaker in your spiritual faculties, you are going to heaven. You are not attain enlightenment. Is it not good to find out this? For me, I'm going to use this when I go home. In fact, I'm warming. I can't wait. Tomorrow when you come, I thought I marked it so that I read it to you. For me, it was the first time to sit in this discourse. Maybe I put it, Sotapana. No, spiritual faculty should be here, I think. Spiritual faculty. For me, I want to read it clear to you. I never knew that the last consolation prize is to go to heaven. I never knew. It's Nidana. Well, tomorrow is my last talk anyway. I'll come on. Yeah, I thought I earmarked it. I'll read to you. Hmm? No, not in here. It's in. Okay, let's go ahead. No, don't worry. When you're asking question, what I'm going to do is to search it. You see, when you're asking questions, I listen there and I search here. Okay, I want to read the Buddha's teaching as when you are actually weaker in the five spiritual categories, you are just the love of the Buddha, and then you go to heaven because you love the Buddha. Eh? So how nice. Already the Buddha had mentioned actually that even when you remember the Buddha and repeating the five spiritual, the qualities of the Buddha. Actually, when you're like even you just repeat the quality of the Buddha, itipiso bhagavara hamsama sambuddha vijachara. As when you're about to die, you go to heaven. Already I've seen this one. Okay, now I think this is enough for today. I want to make one distinction though, that there is a fetter which is called conceit, which most people mistake with this self-identity. Because there's a discourse called Kemaka. Kemaka, it's in the Sanyutta Nikaya. This monk was very sick. This monk was what? Very sick. And was very sick. And then I think the Buddha came and said, are you bearing? Are you bearing? And then he said, yes, but I'm not yet reached enlightenment, though I don't identify the five aggregates with the self. I don't identify the five aggregates with the self, but I've not attained what? Enlightenment. So now what happens with the concept, what you call mana, which measuring I, I'm better than others, others are better than me, and also are equal. That's a comparison. That means, this is a very important point. Even when you break and through this the three fetters, and you are no longer identifying your five aggregates with the self, but still, you are going to have conceit, mana. And that one can be eradicated when you attain enlightenment. Okay, as usual, we stand up for 5 minutes, break, and then you stand up for 5 minutes meditation. And then we go for questions and answer session, right? So just face this with my friend. Just a minute. You do what you call standing meditation. Take a deep breath, relax, let go of the past and future. Don't close your eyes, just cast your gaze in front of you. Relax your knees. Don't lock them. Remove the padlocks. Stand as if actually you're holding a tree like this. As if you're holding a tree like this. No, not that way. Like that. You're holding a tree like this, and then relax like this. Like this? No, do like this. Like this. Open your chest, basically. Yeah, and rest. And then you go back a notch above. Not to lock those knees, so that you are relaxed, settling back in the present moment. And then chin parallel to the ground. The chin parallel to the ground. Not like this. Relax. Your neck should relax. You do like this. Like this. You know India? In India? So just relax. Because now you've been looking like this. Looking at straight. Relax, eyes softly half open. Awareness of the sound, external sound, letting go of the past and future. Okay, that's enough. So you go for a bio break. Question and answer session. Please come back exactly after 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then we have another session for another 5 minutes. appropriate.
Can I ask you a question? And, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, we are going to have a question and answer.
So I'll ask.
Yeah, we are going to ask. The next session is a question and answer.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ask that time. We start. We start. Should we start? I'll start with the. I'll start with the. Remind you that once you attain this, there's a maximum 7 lifetime. You can reach the destination, and then there's also those who can attain it in 1 lifetime more. Other one 2 to 4, 2 to 3 lifetimes. That's what I have to tell you, right? Yes, there are 3. One is maximum 7 lives. Then the second one is 2 to 3 lifetimes. Another one is 1 lifetime. You have more. So in other words, what a pretty much achievement that you have only 7 times to come to diapers. Go to NUC, National University of Singapore. Then diapers, then Uganda. At least you have 7 maximum and 1 minimum. So don't you think this is such a wonderful attainment? When you know that you have only 1 chance to go to college, go to army. How many years you go to army in Singapore? Those who are going to attain this, maybe after listening to this Dhamma talk, you have 1 more time. Actually, most people attain enlightenment when they are listening to Dhamma talks. Right? So, now, here is my question. Please answer. Do you have a problem with this? Who say yes? Do you have skeptical doubt? You believe in love karma? You are not a skeptic, are you? You are not somebody who's believing in rites and rituals. So actually, when you look at it, most of our work is on number 1. Most of our work is what? Number 1. And for me, number 1, why I say it's a lot of work, and I found it clearly, because I going through different countries around the world, I found out once you get a visa to a country and you pass the immigration and you are in the country lawfully, you can do whatever you want. I mean, good things. But you can go to the embassy 2 times, 3 times, 1 year asking for the visa and all that. But once you get a visa and enter the country, I'm telling you, you can even buy a land. Once you get permanent residence, you can do. I'm telling you, it's amazing. But to get to a country is not easy. Not about Singaporean. You have a very good passport. But I used to have a Ugandan passport. I'm telling you, I want to go to Brunei. I want to go to Kalimantan. You say, wait for 2 months. I want to go to Italy. Go to Uganda first. But I'm in India. So, a lot of problem. A lot of problem. So, what I'm saying, once you get into this, I think you are going to stand a good chance. So now, most of the problem they have, they are called shamanas and also Brahminism. Brahminism, they are the one who have this problem. Why? They have a god here, Brahma, and they have a middleman, which is a Brahmin, to intercede for them, and then they are here, right? So in other words, they have to do a lot of rituals to the Brahmins to please Brahma. You see? But you Buddhists, you have nothing here. You shouldn't have a problem. Rudy, is it your problem? Do you have somebody here to please? To do your rituals? But of course, some people have smuggled in somebody there. You know smuggling? Sometimes people smuggle somebody in there. Even when the Buddha said there's nothing there. They smuggle something there, right? And then we do something to please that thing. If this is what your problem is, of course you have to do so many rituals to please something there, up there. But the good news, There's nothing here for us. So we have to practice what we call the Buddha's teaching, Noble Eightfold Path. So rites and rituals shouldn't be our problem. Honestly, I'm not asking you, is it your problem to have rites and rituals? And I think the skeptical doubt, that's not your problem. The problem is self-identity view. My brothers and sisters, work on that. Next year, I'll come here for quality assurance. No, 2020, because next year I'm going to be here for only sabbatical. I'll come and listen to Dhamma talk, but not give Dhamma talk. So now, I think I wanted to remind you this, because I didn't mention it.
Why did you write the 2 to 3 and the 1?
Eh?
What is the 2 to 3?
One lifetime. This is called Ekabija. What I was saying, you have one more lifetime before you can practice. Yeah, completely.
This is the
Lifetime.
once returner, non-returner.
No. Today I'm not talking about other things. I'm talking about stream entra.
What is it divided? Maximum already 7 lifetimes.
7 times. Yeah. If you are slack, let's say sometime you sleep, sometime there's meditation, you go, okay, next year I'm going to meditate, I'll wait until another monk from... and also, some people wait for the future Buddha. I told you some people, especially Sri Lanka, they say they are not going to practice meditation until the Meteya Buddha come. So, yes, we don't know how long it's going to happen, but I don't know whether it's any time sooner. But at least we have option. We know that at least minimum 1 lifetime and maximum 7 lifetime. All right? Okay. You can attain enlightenment, in other words. So you never reverse. This is not something you can reverse. Okay, now I attain stream entra. I don't like it. Let me get a little bit. In fact, in the discourse, they say even if we are slack in this discourse, I don't want to take much of your question and answer session. I want to read you this thing. Don't forget about it. In the Latana Sutta, they say even if we are slack in your practice, you cannot go back and be a Dhamma follower. You cannot go back and be a faith follower. I want to read you. I found out what I wanted to read for you. I found it in Alagapamad Sutta. I'm going to read it to you. This is very, very beautiful. I saw it for the first. I did this discourse, but I don't know. Myself, I've done this discourse many years ago, but when I read it again, I was so impressed. 225, 224, 224. Listen to this. 224. This one. 224. 224. 224.
Two more.
Yeah, this one. 2. Yeah, 224. Yeah, this one. I'm going to read it for you. Are you ready? This is what I told you about what I found out. This is what I found out. Long time. Existent, where is it? Okay, meantime, you can ask questions. So, you can ask question now, as I'm looking for this. I'm going to look for it, definitely. Any question? Ask. Please ask question. I'll put on the pause.
Okay. Bhante, I'd like to ask about the factor of the self-view, the self-identity. Okay, so for a stream enterer, he doesn't have that self-view again.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the self-view. But yet, there are other factors such as conceit and I believe lust.
Yes.
So why does he still have these factors if his self-view is gone?
Yeah, because self-view is about identification with the 5 aggregates. But in the 5 aggregates themselves, they are called 5 aggregates of clinging. Actually, being is called satta, which is Pali, S-T-A-T-A, because we cling. That's why we are called human beings. When we say human being, it doesn't say much in English. But once you put in Pali and translate it, we are called a human being because we are attached to our views, our body, our feelings, not only to the body of ours, also to the bodies of others. So this is just more of identification, self-identification, that, okay, there's a self behind. In other words, we think there is a CEO inside us, controlling everything. This kind of belief, that's what we want to get rid of. But still greed is there, hatred is there, ignorance is there, a lot is still there. But having said that those things are there, they are not as gross as we have. These people still have their greed. In fact, they can only attenuate it in the 2nd level of enlightenment. And then in the 3rd level of enlightenment, they break it completely, greed and hatred. But when you attain this level of enlightenment, you don't have the same greed as the putujana. The word putujana, literally, you can say dividing, separating, and separation is suffering. We always isolate, we see things in a very separate way, and then we become worldling, So yes, you still have it. When you look at the various levels of enlightenment, you find out each of them breaks a certain fetter, certain fetter, certain fetter, certain fetter. Yeah. There are 10 of them. List them for you. The 4th one is greed. The 5th one is ill will, biapad. And the 6th one is craving for material existence. The 7th is craving for immaterial existence. And then the 8th is conceit. The 9th is restlessness. And then the 10th is ignorance. Have we seen restlessness on a tree? 5 hindrances. It's restlessness. It's there also. It manifests in our life. But it's coming from the roots, the nourishing roots. So are we together on this? They are still there. We need to cut them. These are deeper stuff. We may not see them in our daily life, but actually they have a nourishing root. Okay, I found a discourse actually. Can we pause a bit? Because this is so important to understand this part. It's on page 236. 236. Yes, please listen to this. What I told you that I didn't know that this exists here. Though I've done this discourse during my teacher's training, but I didn't know. I've had forgotten about it. Because many years we did this. I don't know. I'm going to read it. Bhikkhus, the Dhamma well proclaimed by me, thus is clear, free of patchwork. In the Dhamma well proclaimed by me thus, which is clear, free of patchwork, those bhikkhus who are Dhamma followers or faith followers are all headed towards enlightenment. Are we together on this? Now this is something that I had completely forgotten about. I'm going to read it for you. Bhikkhus, the Dhamma well proclaimed by me, thus is clear, open, evident, and free of patchwork. In the Dhamma well proclaimed by me, thus, which is clear, open, evident, and free from patchwork, those bhikkhus who have sufficient faith in me, who have sufficient what? Faith in me, sufficient love for me, are headed for heaven. This is exactly the Christian standpoint of view. Definitely. Love for me. In other words, you love the Buddha. You give the flower. Come meditate. No. Then they have sufficient faith. All just want faith. All of them are heading for heaven. For me, I did this discourse. Bhante Gunarathan taught me this discourse from his mouth in 2003. I rarely go back to read this discourse. We did it very well, thoroughly, but I don't know. That's why this has taught me a lesson today. That read again and again. The more you read, actually, the more you understand something, because now you read with a different kind of interest. Because I never knew. Now for the first time to find out what, how the entire setup of Christianity is talking about believe in God and his son, Jesus Christ. And then you go to heaven. The rest is commentary. You see? So I would now use this teaching when I go back home, when I go to teach at the university, and validate them that, yes, that's fine. Don't worry about breaking all these things. That's hard work, breaking all the fetters and all these things. Anyway, you got what I'm saying. This discourse is number 22. Number Majjhima Nikaya, number 22. The discourse is called the simile of the snake. It's a very, very important discourse, actually, because it talks about also wrong views, pernicious views. So this is very, very important. Read it because it talks about the raft. It has the simile about the raft. The Dhamma is to be used as a raft. So it's a very, very juicy discourse. Please read it. Okay, questions? Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Do you love the Buddha? Okay. You love the Buddha? Here, please.
Thanks. Bhante, my question is still on the Sakaya Titi. So just now you mentioned the removal of self-identity, as asked by earlier questioner. But my question is, if I were to read into the 5 aggregates of clinging and I understand all this, surely it doesn't mean that I already shake off the idea of Sakaya Titi.
It doesn't mean this is only shaken off by actually insight knowledge. Insight knowledge. Insight knowledge is this discourse called. We're going. I'm just telling you this insight knowledge into impermanence, because we see the aggregate as impermanent, as unsatisfactory, as non-self. All right. So when the Buddha taught the first discourse on the called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, all the people who listened, they attained first level of enlightenment. But they had not reached the final enlightenment because they took this, that there's a soul theory. So then the Buddha taught Anattalakkhana Sutta, and then they attained all arahants. Why we cannot break through this is because we have a strong identification, and this breaking is not theoretical. You break through theoretically. You have to practice insight meditation and see the body as it is, not with emotion commotion. So you see it as impermanent, non-permanent. We see it as non-self, as not as a self. Many discourses the Buddha give about to show that the body is dependent. The whole teaching on dependent origination is about to dismantle this. The whole teaching on actually even 4 elements is to break this down. So Buddha's teaching is like this. First, it analyzes, and then it synthesizes. So by analyzing into different components, even breaking into 6 sense base, then he breaks into 5 aggregates, then he breaks into this and this to 18 elements. It's all helping you to see different parts and then put it together. How you put together, you see, there's a universal characteristics. As universal, we talk about what call impermanence, insight into impermanence and satisfactoriness and selfless nature. Once you do that and the practice matures, it reaches a time when you break through and you see the body that it doesn't have a self. Then the feeling doesn't have a self behind or outside it. And then we break through all the 5 aggregates. And then we actually attain Magga. Now, what's your question?
So based on what you have just spoken, does it mean that we have to gain insight to see things as they really are, as in Nanadasana?
Yeah. Yatabhutanya Dasana, and then we gain what to call this kind of knowledge is like one of them is called nibbida, all those kind of things. Then we get dispassion. So in other words, the more we do this, we may not do all and gain into full nibbida, but at least we are trying to let it go. We are no longer gluing to our aggregates. We are no longer gluing to them because they are called 5 aggregates of clinging. The whole discourse is telling you how to practice so that slowly you don't cling on to the 5 aggregates as I, mine, and myself. So that's what it is. And what's I, mine, myself? I is conceit, mine is craving, and myself is wrong views. So having those wrong views, you can always break. They actually tie us to samsara. So through the practice of the 4 foundation of mindfulness, you can reach this. So it's practice the 4 foundation of mindfulness, another name for Noble Eightfold Path, and gain insight into anicca, dukkha, anatta, and not just only one day, but actually continuously until it becomes really insights. Before it is vaguely on part-time, you see anicca, dukkha, but then when you practice and all the Noble Eightfold Paths are conjoined, all the Noble Eightfold Paths, they are conjoined, not one only and another time one only. So concentration is there, right understanding is there, mindfulness is full. So the spiritual faculty all are mature. There's faith and confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, then there's the energy, unshakable energy, then mindfulness also full blast, then concentration also. So then you have enough strength to break through this for the first time. Never are you going to identify yourself with the 5 aggregates. Okay? Welcome.
Bhante, my question is that as lay people, we have so many other commitments in work, family, friends, everything. So it's sometimes quite like, then you feel that, hey, maybe we're like not putting in as much effort into the practice. So like it feels like quite, in a sense, sad that we are not putting in as much effort. So, what can we do?
I've had that question. I've written a small book which is called Drop by Drop. So my advice to you, you practice the Buddha's teaching in drop by drop. Because the Buddha said drop by drop, a wise person fills the bucket with wholesome states of mind. And drop by drop, an unwise person fills the unwise person fills the bucket with unwholesome states of mind. So you can count on each drop every day. Be generous, be kind, practice loving kindness. You have a family. Guess what? If you have a family, you must have metta. You must practice metta. You must have I'm sure you practice compassion with your baby. Then you must have also what you call appreciative joy. You can practice it because it's very clear. When you see your baby now standing, trying to stand, wow, that's wonderful. You're full of joy. And then also you have equanimity. Because sometimes you do everything and she's very unhappy and you have to have equanimity. So the practice, the Buddha, what he said, that if this teaching was only for monks and nuns, only, my teaching would be defective in this sense. But because my teaching is for nuns, monks, lay women, and lay men, my teaching is perfect. He mentioned it in one discourse. So yes, actually something I wanted to mention is that many people during the time of the Buddha attained enlightenment. They attained first, most of them, they attained the first level of enlightenment. I listed them here. This in Digha Nikaya, Parinibbana Sutta talks about 500 lay people. And then chapter 8, over 2,400 people in Magadha followers attain stream entrance. The second one, we find reference in Digha Nikaya number 16. I'm giving you reference. They attain once returner. That means returning to the world again. Number 16 again, the discourse in Digha Nikaya. They went to the pure abodes, they say 50. You can see the number reducing from 500, attaining the first level of enlightenment. These are lay followers. Then we go to the second level of enlightenment. We see the number is not stated, but even small actually. And then with the 50. Yeah. Then 50 is actually the third level of enlightenment. And then the last level of enlightenment is called Arahant. It's only commentary talking about a layperson attaining enlightenment, but the Pali Canon has only one person as a layperson who attained Arahant, and is called what's it called? His name is called Yasa, and that is given in Vinaya. He attained enlightenment, but this is not a lay person now, because he's actually celibate, and he puts on white and actually practices renunciation. You have to get a distinction between lay people. There's lay people who are anagalika. Anagalika means homeless. That means they have left home and they practice and they let go the defilements and all this. So, but this is a remote case of Vinaya. Let us say, okay, we have a chance to attain 3 levels of enlightenment. That's the chance we have. We are not ruling out a lay person going to a monastery or being at home and then putting on white and then renounce and is celibate. We have only one case in the entire Pali Canon. For 45 years, there is no single case we find in the Pali Canon except one, and it's in Vinaya, the discipline for the monks. And this person is called Yasa. But as soon as he attained enlightenment, he went and ordained as a monk. So now, what I'm saying for the sake of argument, let us leave the last level of enlightenment and say the first and the second. So the first and the second, as a lay person, all what you have to do is have discipline. Discipline yourself. Because have discipline in terms of scheduling what time you need to meditate. I think we are not going to expect having 3 hours of meditation, 1 hour of meditation in a stretch. What I do as a lay person, because I wasn't born as a monk, I will just take small chunks during their life. 5 minutes somewhere, 10 minutes. I do standing meditation. I go walking meditation like this, slowly by slowly. And as a lay person, I found out the house was full of noise, television. I found one best place to meditate, and that was in the bathroom. In the bathroom, there was no television. You have quality time there. And nobody is going to knock there. Please, no, you have spent a long time there. So when I would go to the bathroom, then I would open the tap, water, then it is in my palms, feel coolness, and then I wash my face, I would feel the touching sensation, and then I would brush my teeth, I really meditated in a bathroom a lot. That's the best place to meditate in case home is too busy with the children, with the wife and husband, because you are not going to go there with anybody. So you have no disturbance. So now, I found another good place, because that time I was staying at the University of Massachusetts, before I became a monk. So I found another good place to meditate. When home is busy, I would go to a library. Go to a place where they have these archaic books, nobody wants to use them, Don't go to all these popular books, psychology and the computer. Go to books talks about literature, Egyptian literature, or Buddhism in Africa, You go in the corner of library where no student go there. And then you'll find a good place to meditate. If it's a public library, you'll find always a good place to meditate. Then shopping centers. Shopping centers, you see, we are living a busy life as lay people. Here's the good news. I was a lay person, and I used to get this time to meditate. So I'm sharing with you. Now, shopping centers. You go shopping center, especially with your wife, they want to shop until they drop, So... Please, don't take it personally, basically. So now, what you do, you don't go where they sell chocolates and all those things. You go where they sell these machines, like, do you know this big shopping center? You go where they sell bicycles and all these things they don't buy regularly. There's nobody there. Then I'll do walking meditation there. Back and forth. So by the time all the people, even as a monk actually in our monastery in West Virginia. In West Virginia, we used to go with lay people to shop, and then that's the time they have to shop. I said, when are they going to finish shopping? So I would leave them somewhere, and I say, okay, please, give them some 10 minutes, 15 minutes. When are you done? Okay, 30 minutes. I would look for an aisle where there is no body. I would do walking meditation there. So now, if you squeeze your time, like squeezing blood from a stone, that's what you should do. Squeeze your time. Time is very important. Manage your time. You're going always to find time to meditate. I used to have a clock, which, it's called meditation clock, actually. It vibrates. You put it here. And set every 1 hour. Every 1 hour, it would vibrate. Time to meditate. And then I would spend 1 minute, what you call M and M. You have those sweets, M and M, eh? Very sweet, eh? So now, sweet and short. Spend what you call sweet and short meditation, whereby you actually go back to the body. Relax, let it go the past. Even in shoulders, you can do like this, and then relax like this, and then relax the shoulders, the head, and then everything. And then I would spend 1 minute meditation. And every 1 hour I did that one. That is 80 minutes under your belt. That's not bad, 80 minutes, because you're going to actually remove the stress, the tension we have in their life. And then once you have removed the stress, then you can actually meditate when you go home. Then you can send loving kindness at home. What I recommend you people who have families, introduce loving kindness and meditation for 5 minutes before you eat. You tell them, okay, let us hold our hands like this together. It becomes then a ritual of your meditation. Then you say, your child, may my mother be well up and peaceful. May my father be well up and peaceful. Then each of you practice metta. So 5 minutes a day of metta formally is something. That's what we call drop by drop. There's a book I wrote, How to Practice Dharma in Daily Life. It's called Drop by Drop. Because that was a common question that most people are asking. always at the end of the retreat, they say, yes, Bhante, I understand what you have taught, but how can I take it home? I tell them, you don't have to leave it here. Take it with you. Do you have a bag? Pack everything. All the nuggets of wisdom you have got, go and apply home. So actually it's possible. It's possible. And what I will do, you leave your email behind, and then I'll send you that ebook, because they don't have a copy here. I'll send you. Yeah, part of it is part of also the book you see there. You can take a copy, how to practice Dhamma in daily life. It's part of it. There's meditation that you can do in daily life. Does that help? Drop by drop, you can count on a drop. I did that experiment myself by putting a bucket. Look at this experiment. In West Virginia, there was snow on the roof. There was drops coming. I said, let me actually try to follow what the Buddha taught. Because my name is Buddharakkhita. I say, let me put Buddha's teaching in practice. So what I did, I got a bucket and put it there, open. And then the drop were coming, ta, ta, ta. In the morning, I put it there. In the evening, when I came, the bucket was full. I say, yeah, that is full. Let me do my own experiment. What I did is to take a bottle with a small neck, which meant, of course, with the first experiment, all the drops were going in a bucket, because that's what the Dhammapada talks about. Here, I'm taking a bottle with a small neck, whereby 10 drops, out of 10 drops, 9 will go out, and only 1 will enter. And that's your daily life. Your daily life, you are so busy, many drops will go out, won't fall in your bottle, because of business, because you are with a baby, because you are this. You became negligent in your practice. So in other words, 9 drops will go out. They will not make it to the bottle, but 1 drop will go there. Now with this experiment, I did it. In the morning, I put that bottle, and all these drops were going outside, except 1 or 2. In the evening when I came, the bottle was full, and that's your experiment. If other part of the day you are busy with life, we understand. But can we find 1 drop to be there, and we can count on that? When you freeze at least everything, and you take a moment to breathe in. Go walking. You have a family. Go walking. Younger one may not understand meditation, but your wife is okay, we are going to walk, but we are going to walk with mindfulness. So actually, let's put it this way. Mindfulness is not difficult, but what's difficult is to remember to be mindful. So put that one in your door. Mindfulness a day keeps dukkha away. Now it's no longer apple. Actually, in Africa now it's bananas, actually. But actually remember this, you can do it in their life, actually. You can do it in their life. And you, with a young one, you have to demonstrate that. What you can do, though, you go and create a temple in your house. Go and create a temple in your house, whereby you have a place you've set aside. And you put a Buddha statue, you put a cushion of your meditation that is going to remind you to meditate. Of course, there will be dust sometime. I remember what I did also I had this problem. I put the meditation cushion right where I step on my bed. Before I go to my bed, I would step on it. That will remind me of cleaning the mind. Because you're stepping on a meditation cushion. And then it will remind you, oh, you need to sit and clean the mind. So, in other words, have the bathroom for your mind. You have already got a bathroom for your body. Create a bathroom for your mind. You always find time to meditate. Thank you for your question. Another question. One question more? One more. Mm-hmm.
Last question.
One last question. And then tomorrow, there's going to be one last Dhamma talk. Before, next time I teach in Singapore is 2:20. You know that? Next time I come to teach again is 2020. So this is going to be my last Dharma talk here. Because I'm going for a sabbatical. I'm going for spiritual renewal. I'll be coming here and then listen to Dharma talks. Yes, but I'm going to work on my practice. Okay?
Okay, my question is about mudita. Sympathetic joy. So how do you practice mudita if you are faced with a situation like you and your friend compete for a job and your friend got it and you didn't? Or you and another person was fighting for a girl and the other guy got it. How do you practice mudita in that case?
So now you use phrases like may your fortune increase. May you be successful in your job. Instead of having envy and jealousy, you practice mudita for that person, but also to all beings, because it is not about only one person. These are called boundless. Boundless, the Pali word is called apamanya, which means boundless. That means the number of beings that you send mudita, appreciative joy, have no limit. So it should not be limited to only one person. So you can actually send them mudita by focusing on their success. May you continue to be successful. But I didn't hear, I had the one for the job, but the second person I wasn't clear what you said because the microphone was so close.
Sorry.
What was the second person?
Two guys
Put
fighting,
a little bit further.
Two guys fighting for one girl.
What girl?
The other guy lost. How do you counter
you
the
say
jealousy?
There is no many fish in the ocean. There are many fish in the ocean. Don't worry. Jobs maybe they are limited, but as far as girls are concerned, if there is not enough in Singapore, fly to Thailand. If not enough, come to Uganda. So don't worry. So you say, may you enjoy fully your girlfriend. I've lost, but I'll win because I'll find even a better one. That's how you do it.
Actually, the bulk of my question is on countering jealousy. How do you
counter jealousy?
How do you do that?
Okay, can you bring my book, please? Can you bring my book? No, bring it. Somebody can bring it. My book. Get it. This is a very, very interesting question. Actually, that's why I like teaching. Yes, please. Nobody has ever asked me this question. That's why I like question and answer session. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. In this book, I'm going to give you this copy. Yeah, exactly. This is what we do, practicing mudita. Okay, positive emotions, walking, meditation, mindfulness, then mindful walking, for virtues, 38, divine virtues, 38. With 38 is here, 38. So now, on 38, we have loving kindness, we have compassion, and then we have also what we call mudita. Mudita, appreciative joy. When you practice, you say, may I continue to have happiness. May my dear friend continue to have good fortune. May my friend or whatever the person continue always to enjoy happiness. When you do this, you repeat this, you start it with reciting it verbally. After that, you start do it mentally. Once on a mental level, you feel when you send it, actually, you feel it that you really appreciate. You are no longer saying, now this is not the end of the world. They have taken this girl. You are seeing that there are many fish out there in the ocean. So then you say, enjoy. Actually, may you enjoy every bit. But I really wish you happiness. May you find your happiness in this girlfriend. So that means it's the opposite of envy. That envy and jealousy, it's actually about, wow, they have taken my happiness. Right? So by doing this, you are going to counteract what we call envy and jealousy. In fact, the appreciative joy is the direct opposite of envy and jealousy. So the more you practice it, the more you chip it. It weakens. The more you practice what you call mudita, it diminishes. So you continue to radiate appreciative joy to all categories of people. For yourself, a friendly person, a neutral person, unfriendly person, and with all beings. Once you send appreciative joy to all beings, then this person, one person, it's not going to be very difficult. And you can always come back and come back again. But this, don't wait until you lose your girlfriend, until you lose the job. It should be a daily practice. And when you practice it along with other practices, like metta, compassion, then equanimity, then you'll have equanimity. That, this is job. It's equanimity about loss and gain. You know about the 8 worldly winds? There is gain and loss. There is pain and happiness. There is fame and defame. There is honor and dishonor. So you practice in the daily life, and of course with mindfulness. Because without mindfulness, you are going to fall into what we call near enemy or far enemy. Either to increase jealousy or actually having simple joys only when your friend is promoted and you feel very happy because your relative is promoted. So you have to do this with mindfulness. My friend, I give you this book, and may you practice very well, and then you are going to see the results. It's very common if you don't have enough mindfulness. You see somebody with a good car, I wish it was mine. You see somebody with a good girlfriend, I wish actually they change their minds. But with this practice, you are going to actually survive very well, and then you are going to be strong. You are going to have appreciated joy. Every time you see somebody with a good house, good car, you wish them to really have maximum enjoyment. But mostly, we have to go to the spiritual side also. When you see somebody meditating very well, they know the Dhamma very well, and they are the same age, you say, wow, brother, go ahead. We will share the Dhamma. Yeah? So instead of envying them, why they sit 2 hours and I'm sitting only 30 minutes? You know, some people meditate like a rock, 2 hours. Instead of saying, wow, Nibbana, there is going to be always space for you. They're not going to take Nibbana away. So please, may you continue your practice. You say sadhu. Okay, we share merit. Itawata chakamehi sampadam punyasam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhi. Itawata chakamehi sampadam punyasam sabbe ta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhi. Itawata chakamehi sampadam punyasam sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhi. Idame nyatina hotu sukita hotu nyatai. Idame nyatina hotu sukita hotu nyatai. Idame nyatina hotu sukita hotu nyatayo. Sadhu.
Okay. For those who are not coming tomorrow or would like to contribute to Bhante's monastery, there's a tray here that you can